Welcome to the How to Raise Money podcast for anyone who wants to raise other people's money for a business or property venture. Right now, there has never been more money on the planet, and there has never been more opportunity. This podcast will help you put the two together. So, if you need money for your business or property proposals from banks, lenders, angels, whales or dragons, this is the podcast for you.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the How to Raise Money podcast. I'm Ray McLennan.
And it's with me, Nigel T. Best. Raymondo, how the devil are you?
It is, we're interesting times still. We keep getting threatened with a heat wave and it doesn't seem to appear.
I was going to say, it would appear to be the only place on the planet that is not in a heat wave and literally burning.
Yeah.
So there you go. Maybe it's why everyone wants to come and live in the UK. Who knows?
Controversial comment there from Nigel.
Well, I mean, we think it's the greatest place there is, so I wouldn't, I can't blame anyone.
That's Yorkshire you're talking about there, is it?
Yeah, God's own county, yeah.
County.
Yeah. Ray, interesting episode, as you say, interesting times. And one of the things that we were looking at is we were just reflecting before we hit record, reflecting on some of the things that hold people back, some of the things that, prevent people making the steps, the strides and the advancements that they want. They can see it, they understand it, they get the theory, they see the life that could be led, the outcomes they can have. Mm-hmm. But one of the problems is they've got three things that they always seem to get tripped up on. So we've got a list of them. The three things are, Ray.
Marketing,
number one. Getting more clients. Yeah, getting more clients.
Which is pretty similar to marketing. And then procrastinating, not doing what they ought to be doing.
Marketing, getting more clients and procrastinating. These are some of the things that hold people back. So we just wanted to have a quick chat about these particular things and some of the effects that it has on people. So Ray, you were talking about, the fact that people don't get through these three items. It's giving people depression, anxiety, concerns, worries. So, what are your thoughts on that and where people are at the moment and their condition, the way their mental health is at the moment? What are your thoughts?
Well, I suppose it depends. People who are watching the mainstream media and tuning into the BBC every night and all the rest of it are probably getting a bit more anxious than anyone else. Because when you see, the news, their job is to, if it bleeds, it leads, it's got to be something that's catastrophic and all this kind of carry on. They're not going to report on the good stuff. And I think that too much immersion in that, combined with, every time you go out of the house, you see people wearing masks, and combined with all of these things is creating a general malaise. And it's filtering through. It's been going on for some time. It's been, we're well over a year now for something that should have been temporary. And it's dragging on. And the much needed, vaccine doesn't seem to be having the impact that they said it would. Without getting too much into it, you can get the vaccine, but you can still actually catch it. You can still transmit it, so what is the point of the vaccine type thing? And then they're talking about boosters now. And then there's another half of the population that are saying that the vaccine and the boosters are probably worse for you than the actual, so there's a lot of conflicting stuff around, and there's not an awful lot of proper scientific debate. It seems that things have been stifled. So I think that's generally making people anxious because nobody actually knows what's going on. It seems to be that even what's filtering down from the top, from the governments across the world, they don't seem to really know what's going on. They're sort of all bumbling around in the dark, and that seems to be having an effect. So the depression and anxiety thing, I think, is as a result of all of that, rather than business, because when we have any kind of challenge, pandemic or financial depression or anything like that, there's always winners and losers. There are always businesses that do really well, and then there's businesses that don't do so well. And the idea is to try and have, or at least I think, is to get to a stage where you have multiple streams of income from a variety of different sources, so that when one is cut off, you're still earning from another. That's and regardless of what kind of business you have, that's a good rule for life, I think. So when people talk about marketing, when they speak to me in one-to-ones about marketing, growing a business, or getting more clients, it's not just about getting clients for one business. It's kind of getting clients for the other things that they are doing as well. You know, people that, for example, have gone from bricks and mortar to go to online. They've never had to do it before, but they really have to do it now. Then there's quite a few people I'm dealing with who've been asked if they'll provide coaching. You know, they've probably done a podcast episode, and then someone's contacted them and said, I quite like the way you operate. Can you teach me how to grow my business? And they've never done that before. So, but it's an opportunity that's there that presents itself, and then they want to learn about that. The procrastination part, I think, from what I can see anyway, comes in. And when I say from what I see, I'm talking to, you know, last week, for example, I had 12 one-to-ones with business people. The week before that, I had 20 odd in 2 groups. So that's the sort of numbers I'm dealing with. It's not hundreds of people, but it's still enough. And then I'm getting emails, and I'm getting WhatsApps, and I'm getting other things. So that's where this is coming from. And not everyone's a property developer. They're all in various other different businesses. They do different things. But there's a realization that if my source of income gets cut off, I need to find another one. And the procrastination comes that there's just so much to do. I don't know what to do, so I'll do nothing at all. Almost. That's what I'm seeing. Now, on the other side of the equation, there are businesses that are doing staggeringly well. And the one I mentioned is he's doing really, really well, but his challenge is with delivery drivers. So he's jumping in the lorry and delivering himself. Now, that's the very antithesis of working on the business and working in the business. He should be working on it, not in it. Because to take a, you know, what's a 9-hour drive in one case to deliver something, that's him taking 9 hours out of the day. Now, that's 9 hours where he sat behind a wheel delivering something. You know, it's a £20 an hour job, and he's £1,000 an hour person. It's just insane. It doesn't make any sense. But he felt that he had to do something rather than nothing. But what he should have been focusing on is getting delivery drivers or getting companies. Now, he had a go at it, but, you know, because he didn't get the results right away, it was the easiest thing was just to do it himself. And I think across the board, that's what tends to happen with people who run and own their own business, is no one can do it as well as I can, almost. And therefore, there's no point in trying. And that's going to lead to people being stuck. You'll be stuck where you are. You're not going to grow the business. You're not going to be able to do marketing, getting more clients if you're stuck behind the wheel of a lorry. You know, it's putting off the day. So that's just things that have happened recently. A lot of queries as well about accessing. I mean, we spoke to Mr. Bounceback and, you know, the Corona business interruption and business recovery loans and all these things that are there. Getting a lot of requests for information about that, but there's plenty of information out there already. It's just that few people are having difficulty navigating the system. Well, I think the system is set up to be difficult to navigate. So again, it's just a question of perseverance and keeping going with that sort of thing. So the 3 things that have cropped up, marketing, getting more clients, procrastination. I think we will cover them over the coming weeks. We're going to take steps to cover them and put a bit more information in there.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, Ray, that just listening to that there, you've always remember, if you are in a situation where you're struggling, the old adage is, but a trouble shared is a trouble halved. Sometimes if you actually say things out loud to somebody, they don't sound as scary. They don't sound as serious. They sound sometimes faintly a bit, crikey, that sounds a bit weak or insignificant. You know, it can reduce what you've built up in your own mind as the scale of the problem. When you actually explain it to someone and someone looks at you and go, really? then it can help bring it back into perspective, and that can be good. But also, if you get talking to people like Ray, myself, anyone else, it could be that we have an answer, a pivot, because it's amazing how many times, Ray, isn't it, when we're talking to someone and they say they've got a problem, the next phone call conversation you have is someone who has a different problem, and you think, if those two had a chat to each other, they both solve each other's problems. Oh my goodness, it's a way of doing it. But here's something, folks. If you have ever seen top flight performers in terms of sports or things like that, and at the moment we just had the Olympics, got the Paralympics. You look at it and they do exactly this. Okay, they focus on their process. What can they control? So when Ray talks about the news, you can't control it, so don't focus on it. What can you control? You can only control what you are able to influence or actually do something about. So if you focus on that, so I love, it's Ray's favorite sport, golf. Ray's forever out on the golf course. Oh my goodness, you can barely get him off the golf course. True Scotsman on that one. But no, whenever you look at a golfer, if they win or lose the tournament, what do they say? They said, well, all I did down the final stretch, the last hour of the tournament, was I just concentrated on what I could do. The fact that other guy just had one of those days where everything went right and he beat me, well, so be it. He beat me. Some days somebody beats you. But all I did was I didn't look at him. I concentrated on my thing. What could I do? And some of the things that, Ray's talking about and that we are putting together to help people, because we get this so many times, is we're putting together a process that you can use to focus on your particular business or strategy. It's things that you can control, because it's one of these things where you're talking there, Ray, of I don't have time to explain it to you. I don't have time to get someone to drive the lorry. I don't have time to do this. I'll do it myself. The weird thing is, that's in the boom time. Now, if the market has gone up 1,000%, but your business has only gone up 100%, it means every other business in that boom has got a bigger market share than you've just grabbed. But you might be thinking, I don't have time to do that. 100% doubling my business, that's great. But actually, in reality, when that contracts and comes down again, you'll find that you have a much smaller market share. And you've got to think to yourself, hang on, what's my process? My process is I need to grow it in this way. This is what I need to do. And if you don't follow those sort of rules, you're going to miss out when the market corrects or levels off or whatever it is. You'll have a much smaller share because everyone else has taken a much bigger chunk of that 1,000% increase. And when we're talking about marketing, we're going to be looking at, because I know, Ray, the other thing that people talk about is social media. I don't get it. I don't understand what I need to do. I'm not sure how much I need to do, which platform, how often. I don't want to do videos. I'm worried about, is it me that I advertise or market, or is it my brand? I'm not too sure who I am. I'm not too sure on my logo. I'm not too sure on this. Do I tweet this? Do I put an image in? How do I make a video? What should I put in the video? All these things, Ray, lead to that big one of, because there's so much, because you don't understand the process, because you're feeling out of control looking at the world's events, we need to get you back into a process, get you back in control of it so that you can overcome procrastination, which tends to happen when you have too many options, too many things, so that we can say, right now, just focus on your thing, just do these steps, and the outcome will happen. But you can't influence everything else. All you can influence, all you can control is your bit. And that is one of the things that, we're going to be talking about more and more, Ray. And we're also going to be putting the finishing touches to, some help for people that say, okay, I need to do that. I need to follow those steps because I need to improve my marketing. I need more clients. I need more sales, more customers, whatever it might be. and I need to get past this problem of procrastinating. So it's coming, Ray. It's coming, isn't it?
It is indeed. It is indeed over the next few weeks.
Yeah, there we go. All right, folks. So if that's hit a note with you, then get across to the website www.htrmoney.co.uk, and don't forget we're on YouTube. So if you're enjoying this video, hit the subscribe, follow, like. It really does make a difference on the YouTube channel for those sort of things. And given that we're talking about how to get out there and market, these are some of the things that you should be doing as well. When you get people listening to your podcast, please share it. Please give us a review. If you look at the website, please click on, get those resources, get going, take the first step to overcome procrastination. And when it comes to YouTube, yeah, just click on it, subscribe, share, like, you know the process. We really appreciate it. And you'll see yourself doing the same thing as well. So there you go. That was, I'll get off my soapbox.
Short and sharp. And that's it. And on that bombshell. Okay.
All right. Perfect.
I've been Ray McLennan.
Yeah. I'm still Nigel T-Best. We'll see you soon, folks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the How to Raise Money podcast. It's made for people who want to raise money as debt or investment equity for their business or property proposal or empire. See you next time, where we can show you how to raise money. There is abundance. There is money enough for everyone on the planet. The question is, who has yours?